Welcome grade 8. I wish you are doing great. Today, inshallah, we are going to revise algebra, the first term for you, inshallah, and I wish you understand what we are going to talk about. First of all, I need to remind you of what you studied already about before studying the real numbers. So you know that you needed to study the cube root first of all. So when we said that cube root of a number like 8, it will be 2. Which is positive number, its cube root will be also a positive number. Unlike the square root, if it's a square root of 25, for example, it will be positive or negative 5. So it should be positive or negative value. Unlike the cube root, if you are getting cube root of negative number, so it will be negative number also. So the result here will be negative 2. Then after that here, after studying the cube root, you started studying the q dash, reminding you of what you studied already in grade 7. You studied the q, which is the rational numbers. The rational numbers is the set of numbers that all the numbers that can be written in the form a over b, but not like the q dash. It's the numbers that cannot be written in the form a over b. So they are the opposite. I can't write it in the form a over b. After that, we started studying the real numbers. The real numbers, which is r. And you have to know that r is consisting of the r positive union r negative, and in the middle, of course, we used to put the 0. So you have to know that r is the r positive, r negative, and the 0. Also, we can write it in this form, q union q dash. Here, it is this form here, r positive, 0, and r negative. Then after that, we studied with you, if you have all the real numbers without the rational numbers, of course, the remainder will be the irrational numbers. Also, if you have r positive intersecting with r negative, it's impossible to have a number that is positive and negative at the same time, so it's fine. You studied the rational numbers. As we said, it's any number can be written in the form a over b, like any fraction, 2 over 7, for example. But by here, by is just a symbol here. It's approximated value, so I can't say it's belonging to q. By belongs to q dash, the irrational numbers. The intersection between the rational and the irrational, of course, I can't find a number that can be fraction and not fraction at the same time. So it's fine. R without q dash, R without the irrational numbers, it's q. Also, as we said, R is R positive, 0, and R negative. And remember that R star is all the real numbers without the 0. I can write it as the R positive union R negative also. It's another method of writing R star. Let's talk about something else. Then after that, you started studying the intervals. And intervals, there are some types of the intervals, like closed intervals, opened intervals, and semi-opened and semi-closed interval. You can call them by the same name, by the way. They both can be read as semi-opened or semi-closed, semi-opened or semi-closed. I will remind you of a question here, so you can remember what to do with the operations on the intervals. X is semi-opened interval or semi-closed interval from 2 to infinity, and Y is the opened interval from -2 to 3. Find using the number line. That means you have to draw the number line. You have to represent them. X intersection Y, X union Y, and X difference Y. So first of all, drawing the number line here, I will make it as starting from infinity, and here it's negative infinity. In the middle, I put 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. -1, -2, -3, and so on. Representing them, X intersection Y. So X intersection Y will be from, first of all, I need to represent X from 2 to infinity, and 2 is closed number here, and I shade between them, and this is x. Also, to represent y, I will make it as here from -2 up to 3. They both are open, join between them, and shade the part between them. They both are open, don't forget that. First thing here, I need to get the intersection between them. X intersection y. The first one here, how to get the intersection. The intersection means what's common between the two intervals, what you can find in both of them at the same time. So for example, here I can start from 2 up to 3. Don't say it's only 2 and 3. I have many numbers between them. That's why we studied intervals. You have 2.01, you have 2.1, you have many numbers, infinite number of numbers between 2 and 3. So to get the intersection, I will say it's from 2 to 3. Let's get which one will be open, which one will be closed. 2 here is already existing in x and y at the same time, so it will be closed. But 3 is only in x but not in y. It's open in y, so it will be open because it's not repeated in both of them. After that, let's find the union between them. The union between the two intervals means taking everything starting from one of them up till the end of the other one. So we started here from -2, moving until the infinity, taking everything. Infinity will be opened, -2 will be also open because it doesn't belong already to y. It's already open. The third one here, we need to get the difference between x and y, x difference y. So how to get it? The difference means what exists in the first, but not exist in the second. So here 2 is already in y, 3 is already in y, but starting from this point, all the next is already in x, but not in y. It's only in x and not in y. So I will write it here from 3, moving until infinity. Infinity is always open in any interval. 3 is already in x and not in y. Yes, it's open in y, so it will be closed because we need it to be only in x, not in y. The next one, I will add another one here if I want to get the difference, y difference x. So I need you to get me what's in y but not in x. What's in y and not in x? It will be, yes, this part here. So we can just shade them from -2 until the beginning here of x. So it will be from -2 till 2. -2 is already not in y. It's already opened in y. I need it to be only in y, but not in x. It's already not in y and not in x. 2 here is in x and in y at the same time. I need it to be only in y, so keep it with x. We make it open. The last thing we can talk about here in intervals, in operations about intervals here, we can talk about the complement. X complement. X complement means everything but not x. So just hide the x and take everything else. That means here everything else coming from -infinity until the beginning of x, which is 2. -infinity is always open. Until 2 belong already to x. I don't need it. I need it to be with us, not with the x, so it will be opened here. I need everything not in x. What about y complement? Y complement means everything but not y. Everything but not y means what? Here's why. I know that some of you can say that I will take all the real numbers because the real numbers can also written as from -infinity to infinity. So I will say all the real numbers without y, without -2 and 3. And that's correct answer, by the way. But if I want to write it as the union of two intervals, I can start here and get this part and with this part, with the union between them. So here I'm coming from -infinity till -2. -infinity is always open. -2 here, I will think, is it already out of y? Yes, because it doesn't belong to y already. Then it will be closed. Here from 3 to infinity. Infinity is always open. Is 3 out of y? Does it belong to y? Actually, no, it's open in y, so it will be closed. We need it with us. That's how to get the union, the intersection, the difference, and also the complement. Let's talk about something else here, the operations on the square root and the cube root. The operations, remember that if you have square root of 4, for example. Yes, I know, it's 2. But what if I ask you to get the square root of 8? It doesn't have square root. So we need to get it as simplified. Simplified means I will get 2 numbers, their multiply equals 8. One of them have square root. So thinking, just I can find 2 multiply 4, and yes, 4, it's a number that have square root. So this number, getting the 4 outside with its square root, it will be 2 root 2. That's what we will do now with the next exercise. Simplify to the simplest form, square root of 32 minus square root 72 plus 6 root half. So 32, it doesn't have square root. I will think which number multiply anything, 2 numbers, their multiplication equal 32. I don't know, so I start searching using the calculator. Divide by 2, if it doesn't work, divide by 3, if it doesn't work, divide by 4, and so on. First, when we divided by 2, we found 32 can be written as 16 multiplied 2. And yes, 16, it's a number that have square root. Minus square root 72 divide by 2, we found that yes, it's a 36 multiplied 2. What if I divide it by 2 and it doesn't give me a number that have square root? Okay, divide by 3, divide by 4 until you find a number that have square root. Plus, what can I do here with the half? When you have a fraction inside the root, get the number which is outside, please get it inside. It's a square root, so I will get it as power 2. So now I have square root of half multiply 36. Okay, let's talk about this aside here. Yes, it's root 18. I can make it as 9 multiply 2 because 9 have square root. Yes, it's a 3. So here I can just read this one and write it as square root of 9 multiply 2. Get the 16 outside. Its square root is 4. Yes, now I have 4 root 2 minus. Get the 36 outside. It will be 6 root 2. Get the 9 here. Sorry, outside. It will be 3. So it will be 3 root 2. 4 minus 6, it's negative 2 plus 3. It will be 1 root 2. And this is how to simplify this value. Now let's talk about the cube root. Okay, cube root means I need to get 2 numbers, their multiply equal this number here 54, but one of them should have cube root. As I told you, start dividing by 2. Yes, dividing by 2, it equals 27. So 27, it's already a number that have cube root. So that's correct, multiplied by 2. Plus 6, keep it outside, cube root of 16, of course, can be written as 2 multiply 8. 8 have cube root. So it will be 8 multiply 2 minus. As I told you, if you have a fraction, the number outside, get it inside, please. But here it's a cube root, make it power 3. Don't forget that. So now I have cube root of quarter multiply 216. Using calculator. Yes, as you can say, it will be cube root of 54. I just did it. It was 27 multiply 2. So yes, we put it here as cube root of 27 multiply 2. This is a positive number. This is a negative number. The same number, positive and negative, adding them will be 0. So I can cancel them easily. Now get the 8 outside with its cube root. It will be 2. 2 times 6 equals 12. So I have now 12 cube root 2. That's all about this part. And after that, we are going to talk about the conjugate numbers. I know that you remember, of course, the conjugate numbers. It's when you have a number like square root 7 plus square root 5, for example. So its conjugate will be the same number, root 7 also, but minus root 5. Multiplying two conjugate numbers, first times first, second times second, negative sign between them. So it will be 7 minus 5, which is 2. Adding two conjugate numbers, you can just erase these bracket here, these brackets, to add them. So I have positive root 5 minus root 5, it will be 0. Root 7, it will be 2 root 7. And that's all about here, this how to add and multiply two conjugate numbers. Let's study an exercise about this. This is x, and this is y, and I need to prove x and y are conjugate numbers. First, x is already simplified, so I need to simplify y also. It will be 3 over root 5 minus root 2. Okay, multiply by the conjugate of the denominator up and down. Root 5 plus root 2. Here it's root 5 plus root 2. Then, when you multiply numerators together and denominators together, don't distribute the 3. Keep it outside. You will need it later. Root 2 here. Over root 5, as we just did in multiplying two conjugate numbers, it will be 5 minus root 2 times root 2 equals 2. 5 minus 2, you know that, it's 3. 3 will be cancelled with this 3. Yes, that's why I told you to keep it outside. Don't remove it. Now, y will be just square root 5 plus root 2. Then, yeah, I noticed that x and y are conjugate now. Then we can say that x and y are conjugate. After that, if you want to find the sum and their product, it's easy now. Adding them, add the simplified one, not the complicated here. So x plus y will be root 5 minus root 2 plus root 5 plus root 2. I will cancel the positive one, sorry, this positive one here with this negative one, and root 5 plus root 5 equals 2 root 5. Multiplying them here, the two conjugate numbers, you already did that inside an exercise of them, inside one of them. So it will be root 5 minus or plus root 2 multiplied by root 5 minus root 2. One of them multiplied the other. First times first, it's 5 minus second times second, it's 2. 5 minus 2, it's a 3, as we already did it before. After that, we need to talk about the applications of real numbers. I know this lesson is so hard for you because of the rules. You have to keep the rules in this lesson. But before talking about the rules of the lesson itself, I need you to remember the rules of the square, because you will need it, of course, the rules for the rectangle, and the rules for the circle. So the area of the square, its length to the power 2, but the perimeter is 4 times length because all the sides are equal. The rectangle, its area will be length times width, but the perimeter length plus width all times 2. The circle, it will be its area by r to the power 2, but it has circumference, not perimeter. We call it circumference. And the circumference is 2 by r. R is the radius, don't forget that. It's equal to half the diameter. So the diameter is double the radius. Now let's talk about the rules for this lesson. You already studied the cube, the cuboid, and here we have cylinder. Also the sphere. They have some rules like the volume, like lateral area, like also total area. How to get the volume of the cube? All the edge lengths are equal, so its length to the power 3. Lateral area, it means the lateral faces. in any room, it's like a cube. It has 4 faces. Then it will be 4 multiply area of one face. The one face here is like a square, so it will be length to the power 2. Also, if you want to get the total area, you have 6 faces now with the ceiling and the base, so it's 6 length to the power 2. After that, you talked about the cuboid. Its volume will be length times width times height, multiplying all the 3 dimensions. Lateral area, it's a perimeter of base multiply height. If the base is a rectangle, we talked about its perimeter. If it's a square, it will be 4 times length. And here the total area will be this lateral area you already found, so you need to find it first, plus double the base area. If the base is a rectangle, you'll find its area. If it's a square, you'll find also its area. Let's talk about the cylinder. Its volume will be the base area. The base is a circle. Its base area by r power 2 multiply height. And the lateral area. Lateral, it was already the cylinder before it became a cylinder. Before it became a cylinder, it was already a rectangle, and we folded it. So it's like finding the area of rectangle, which became the circumference of the base, which is the circle now, 2 by r multiply the height. To find the total area for the cylinder, you need to get this lateral area, 2 by r h, plus double the base area. Finally, you have the sphere. It has a volume which is 4/3 by r to the power 3. And its total area, it doesn't have lateral area, so the total area of this will be 4 by r to the power 2. Please keep the rule to be all these rules to be able to solve any question about this part. Then solving equations and inequalities in R. Solving an equation like this, it's easy. So it will be here root 5x equals 4 plus 1. I remove it to the other side, transform it to the other side. It will be with the opposite sign. It will be positive. 4 plus 1 equals 5. After that, I will divide by root 5 by the coefficient of x. 5 divide root 5, it will be only root 5. Then solution set, it's root 5. After that, we need to represent it on the number line. Yes, we have a number line like this. It will be here 0, -1, -2, and so on. Here it's 1, and here it's 2, 3, 4, like this. This line, I will draw it using how to draw these lines to represent it first. I have the 5, take it plus 1, divide 2, and take the 5 minus 1, divide 2. So here it's 6 divide 2 equals 3, 4 divide 2 equals 2. Take the smaller number and draw a line above the 0 here with the ruler as 2 centimeters. On the top of this line with the compass, with the tip of the compass, stop here and open it for the other number for 3 centimeters. And then make an arc. After making the arc, just join them. Finally, you will find it drawn like this. So this is the representing of root 5. Then studying the inequalities, how to solve an inequality here. So you have it as 2x less than, get the 6 outside, it will be negative. So 2 minus 6 will be 2x less than -4. Then divide by 2, x will be less than -2. Then now the solution set, it will be as an interval, less than -2. I'm taking everything less than -2 up till the infinity, negative infinity. Till -2, this is open, this is also open. Why it's open? Because there is nothing here like equal sign. If it's written like this, this is called less than or equal. This equal sign, it's like a door. It make you should close it. Make you to close it here, but it's open now, so I'm not closing it. It will be open. Representing this using the number line 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. It's infinity, negative infinity, -1, -2, -3, and so on here. I started from -2 here to the smaller numbers here. It will be open and -infinity. This is the representing of this solution set on the number 1. After that, we are going to talk about the relation between two variables. For example, you have 2x minus y equals 3. This relation, we need to represent it graphically. So you need to form a table like this, formed of x and y, and 3 points. Get 3 points. I will suppose any points for value, for x, sorry, any values for x to get the y. For example, I will make it as 0, 1, 2. I will take the smaller numbers. I like it to make it simple for me. So at x equals 0, for example, here I put x equals 0 in this equation. So it will be 2 multiply 0 minus 3 equals 3, minus y equals 3. It is 0 minus y equals 3. Then from this, y will be -3. Now I know y will be -3. At x equals 1, 2 multiply 1 minus y equals 3. It's 2 minus y equals 3. So you know that you have to get it outside. Now -y will be 3 minus 2 equals 1. Then y will be -1. This will be -1. At x equals 2, 2 multiply 2, which is 4 already, minus y equals 3. I think it's easy now. Y, of course, will be 1. 4 minus what equals 3? It's 1. So it will be 1 here. Representing it graphically, you have to form the two coordinates like this, x and y, and then start putting the points on it. You have here 0 with -3. You have 1 with -1, sorry, here, and 2 with 1. And after that, joining them here with the ruler. So this is representing graphically this relation. First of all, you need to form the table and put any points to get the values for x and y. After that, the slope of straight line. How to get the slope of a straight line passing through 2 points? It's a rule for this, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. What if I started with y1 minus y2? It's okay, but you need to start with x1 minus x2 also. I can say any point of them can be 1 or 2. For example, here 2 and 3, and the other one here -5 and 2. This can be x1, y1, x2, y2. If you did the opposite, it's okay also. So I will make it as 3 minus 2 over 2 minus -5. 3 minus 2, it's 1. 2 minus negative, it will be positive. 5 equals 7. And this is the slope using these 2 points. If you changed them, if you started with 2 minus 3 over -5 minus 2, it also will give you the same result, 1 over 7. After that, we are going to talk about the statistics. So you studied 3 important things here in the statistics, which is finding the mode, the median, and the mean. Let's start with finding the mean here. How to find the mean for this set of values? Before that, in the previous year, you studied finding the mean by adding all the values he gives you divided by their number. Here, for distribution of some sets here, we need to get it using the table. I will form a table consisting of 4 columns here like this. The first one will be the sets. The second one will be for the center, which is x. After that, it will be for the frequency, which is f. And here we multiply x times f. The sets here, I just copy them. Copy the sets, copy the frequency only. 10 and more, 20 and more, 30 and more, 40 and more, 50 and more, and then don't forget to keep 1 for the total, because we need to get the total for the frequency and the total of the x times f here, the product of the x and the f. The center, first, before the center, get the frequency copy. It's line here. It's 8, 12, 14, 9, 7, and their total is 50. How to get the center? To get the center, you need to add the upper limit with plus the lower limit and divide by 2. So it's upper limit plus lower limit divided by 2. Then the upper limit here is 20 plus 10 divided by 2. 30 divided 2, it will be 15. So the first center here is 15. What about the second one? Should I add each time 10 plus 20 divided 2, 20 plus 30 divided 2, 30 plus, and so on? No need for this. I just noticed here, each time I add 10, add 10, add 10. So I also will add 10 here for the center. It will be 25, 35, 45, up to here, it will be 55. After that, the next step, it's just multiplying the frequencies here by the center of the sets you found already. How to multiply it? Of course, using calculator. Open your calculator now and start multiplying. 8 times 15. Yes, it will be 120. 12 multiply 25, it will be 300. 14 multiply 35, it will be 490. 9 times 45, yes, it will be 405. Then the last one here, it will be 385. Adding all these values together to get their sum, which will be 1,700. Why adding them? Because the mean will be the sum, this sign called sum, of x multiply f divided by the sum of the frequencies. Then it will be 1,700 divided by 50. Calculator, of course, it will be 34. Here we are talking about marks. So yes, it will be 34 marks. And this is how to find the mean for these values. Let's get to the next one. It's finding the median. How to find the median for these values? You have two methods to find the median. You can find it using the ascending frequency distribution or the descending frequency distribution. Okay, so how to find it using the ascending? Just form a table consisting of 2 columns only. You have here the ascending and you have the frequency. What to write in the ascending? You need to get ascending, so it's less than. I will write here less than 54. After that, it's less than 58, less than 62, less than 66, less than 70, and don't forget that in finding the median and also in the mode you have to put an extra set, which here will be 74. Why 74? Because I noticed each time I add 4, I add 4, I add 4, so it will be the next one, it will be up to 64. We write here it as less than 74. There is no total or sum for this one, so it's okay, just make it like this. Then after that, finding less than 54, it's nothing, so it will be 0. Less than 58, we have only 5. Less than 62, I will add the previous numbers here, 12 plus 5, it will be 17. Less than 66, I add 22 plus 12 plus 5, which will be 39. Less than 70, just adding all these numbers together, it will be 46. And then less than 74, taking everything, which will be 50. It will be the total. After that, we need to represent it to know how to get the median. Just represent the points, as you can see here, 54 with the 0, 58 with 5, and so on here, 62 with the 17, and so on. How to get the median? Okay, to find the median, you have to find first the order of the median. And we find it by getting the total divided by 2. Okay, 50 divided 2, it's equal to 25. It will be here. What next? Move until you reach the curve. So first of all, what I will do here, I'll just make it zoomed here so you can see what we are going to get. Now I will just move in front of it using the ruler in your notebook, of course, and then go down until you reach this point here. It's from 62 to 62 to 66. So it seems all of this to be 4 units only. So almost 62 here, after it, almost here at 63. So approximately it's 63. If another one of you get it as 64, it's okay. It will be just approximated value. 63.5, also it's okay. Because most of these medians come as approximated value. So first of all, we need to get the median, the order, which is 25, and then using the ruler, move in front of it to reach this number here, which is the median. So there is another method, finding the median, which is finding the median using the descending frequency distribution. And the descending also, I will do the same, forming a table of 2 columns here with the descending and the frequency. The descending, so it's 54 and more, 54 and more, or more than 54. So we can write it as 54 and more. It's okay. 58 and more. And so on. So 62 and more, 66 and more, 70 and more, 74. As we said, we need to put an extra one here, which is 74, an extra set. Then how to find the descending distribution here? Okay, 54 and more, I'm starting from here, I'm taking everything, so it will be all of it, which is 50. 58 and more, taking everything without this 5. Add 12 plus 22 plus 7 plus 4, which will be 45. 62 and more, it will be everything without these 2, which will be 22 plus 7 plus 4, which is 33. After that, here, 66 and more, it will be just 11. 7 plus 4. 70 and more, it's just 4. 74 and more, it's nothing, so it will be 0. Also representing it on the graph like this, as you can see. And then how to find the median now? The same step, just get the order by getting the total by 2, which is 25. This is the order. Then the median, I will do the same step here. Make it zoomed here for you to know where I'm talking about. Here it's 25. Just moving in front of it until you reach the curve. Where I reach the curve here at this point, just go down on the line in front of it. Yes, it will give you the same result. They should give you the same result. Now here it will be almost 63, approximately as 63. So the median now will be approximately, we write it approximately as 63. Let's talk about finally the last thing here in this curriculum, in this term. It will be the mood. How to find the mood? It's so easy. This is the most easier one of them. You just form the 2 lines like this here. As you can notice, this is the axis of the sets, and this is the axis of the frequency. Here, the greatest number is 30, so I just make it as 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and so on here like this. It is the greatest number. No need to make tables, no need to get something multiplied or divided, nothing. Just write them as writing this here. The sets here 10, 20, 30, and we just put an extra set. Here the last one is 50, so it will be 60. Representing them, 16, 10, I move until I reach 16 and go to the right and then go down at 20. After that 24, so it will be moving up till the 24 and then go down until I reach the 30. After it, 30, it will be at 30. I just move it like this and draw it and so on here. At 40, it will be at 20, and then here the last one will be at 10, so I go down to reach it at 6. How to find the mode now after representing all these values? Put a point here for the corners outside here, another point here, then cross them, and the line between these crossed lines here, go down until you reach the point on the sets axis. Here it's almost 30. I think this is 31 here, this is 32. So it's almost 32. So also the mode, it's approximately 32. And that's all for this revision. Thank you for watching this. Wish you understand what we talked about, and see you in another time, inshallah. Thank you.